Hello, everybody. Jax West from Stephen Avery Project, MAM Gossip, Justice with Jax. Who's gonna be first? Who will it be? I was supposed to be working. Hello, Melissa. But they've now postponed it until tomorrow. So I'm free today. Figured we will kick off. Hello, David. We will kick off with an Ask Jax Anything. And then we'll go into some Brendan jail calls. Lunch break. Hello, Miley. Well, Miley, I hope you're not having any demon semen for your lunch. Hello. Is it Tamara or Tamara? I've got a cousin named Tamara. Sup, Kat and Elizabeth and Erica. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah, Christopher. I look awesome. I just got out of the shower, actually, and I threw some lipstick on for y'all. But I'm just probably still wet. My hair's wet. Hey, Nicola and Debbie. So, all right. What I want to talk to you all about. Hello, Amy. First, let me put out there, you are in MAM Gossip. Hello, Clara. If you just want to talk about the case, the Stephen Avery, Brendan Dassey case, then this live is not for you. MAM Gossip is a place where I talk shit. I know. Matchy, Lynn. Woo. I had opened up my, oh my God, moist. I opened up my lipstick drawer and I'm like, whoop, now that's going to pick what I'm going to wear for the day. Hello, Kathy. So, this hour I'm talking shit. Or I don't even know if we'll be on for a full hour before we go back into the Brendan jail calls. I am still getting continual screenshots that both Carla and Barb and their gang have to keep talking about the rally and me. And it seems like the thing that Barb is most concerned about is how many shirts did I sell? Really? That's what you're most concerned about, on how many shirts did I sell? Well, seeing as, hello, China and Emily, seeing as they both have their little spies in here, I have posted, we sold a total of 9 shirts. And when I was contacted and said that Brendan didn't want to be on a shirt, I took Brendan's name off. So technically, Brendan wouldn't be owed any money. But I still donated $100 to Brendan. The Stephen Avery Project shirt, I don't remember. See, it's numbers. I'm able to remember 9. Don't ask me why I'm able to remember 9 shirts sold at the time of the rally. I know Jeff's gotten some other orders since he, but we're only filling the orders once a month. So, but I posted a breakdown in here on how many were the Stephen Avery Project shirt, how many were MAM Gossip, hello, Sonia, and how many were Vagina Bat. So I believe the Stephen Avery Project shirt, I think, was only 3 shirts sold with Stephen's name on them, which I had said we were going to be donating $15 of each, so for the Stephen shirt, $15 of each shirt. But I still gave him $100. Then there were some masks that sold. So I don't remember how many masks sold before I made the $100 donation. Then some of the people who had come to the rally, I think 6 or 8 masks sold. So So that would be now for next month. That would go on the tally. That would be going to Stephen for next month on whatever of those masks sold. And I still have. I'll have to count how many of those masks are left. And those masks are a one run and done because they have the rally on them. And I only made, how many was it that I made? 50, right? 50 of them. So once those 50 are gone, it's done. So sorry, something in my eye now. So I found out that Barb is all concerned with how many shirts sold. And she was told that I donated $100 to each guy. And she had said she will find out this weekend if it's true. So I then texted Barb this morning. Let's see. Barb's got an iPhone, so I would be able to see if she's actually clicked on it as well. Barb, where are you, Barb? So I texted her at 9:51 a.m. my time. And I said, if you have a question about the rally, why don't you ask me instead of asking everyone else about me? You have my number. So I have not heard back from Barb. Let's see. The last time I texted with Barb, look how long ago this was. Barb texted me out of the blue on December 2nd, 2018 at 3:32 p.m. And she said, Jax, why don't you get a life already? Stop doing what you're doing. We are all innocent, period. None of had anything to do with it, and I don't care if you put this out there or not. That was her message to me. And then my response was, I have a life. Thank you for your concern. If they're innocent, why don't they go talk to KZ? And she said, goodbye, Jax. And I said, goodbye so soon? That was quick. And I have a typo on quick. So she has my number. She could reach out to me anytime. Let's see. Just as we're going down memory lane here, let's go to another time she texted me, just pulling these up randomly. December 30th, 2017. Oh, I texted her because she called me. So I texted her December 30th, 2017 at 11:09 a.m. and I said, you called me? And I have a screenshot of the day she called me out of the blue. And Barb said, yes, I did. Please take that down. And I said, what? And she said, you know what you posted. And I said, you know what you have done to me too. I'll show you that before I scroll to read the rest of it. She said, I haven't said anything about you in over a year. So why are you starting up again? And how did you get it? I don't recall what she's even addressing here. And I said, again, I have never stopped. You and Scott have treated me horribly. The things Scott posted about me has caused me to be attacked for years from people saying I stole money I gave you. You did nothing and let it happen. And then Barb said, I never said that. Well, Happy New Year to you. Before I scroll to the next page. I'm so bad at pulling this up so you can see it. I said, no, you never said that. But you let Scott do that when he was right there when I handed you the $400 in cash. I did nothing to deserve the way I was treated by you. I support your son. I believe in his innocence, same as I believe in Stephen. You make it all about you. They're in prison while you're out hunting and enjoying your life with Scott. You can't stop me from supporting Stephen and Brendan. No reason for me to actually show you what I said. Unless you don't believe me. And then Barb's response was, I do support them. Why are you saying I don't? What am I supposed to do? Stop my life and do nothing? Would that make everybody happy? You know, if you had a heart, you wouldn't do this to me and you would be trying to help. Put the petition up for me. So she wanted me to share a link to the petition that I started and she blocked us out of. I said, why would I help you? You let people think I'm a thief when you know it's not true. I did a lot for you and your family, including that petition. You wouldn't have it if not for me. Then Carla locked us out of it. And then she said, Bruce has all that info, not Carla. I wish you would stop blaming Carla for everything and the family. And I said, ha ha ha, really? And then she sent me a screenshot of her talking with Bruce, who is my partner in Free Brendan, who founded Injustice Anywhere, where Bruce was saying to her on August 7th, so not even anywhere near the time this was from, where he says the petition is updated. And then I don't know if this is Barb or Carla. This has got to be Carla. Saying thank you very much. Yes, it's Carla, because she says, thank you very much, dear. I was talking to Barb earlier, and she was wondering if you would be willing to share login info with her. That is up to you, and think about it, if anything. And then Bruce said, I would do that, but the petition is on our Injustice Anywhere account, and it is attached to all of our other petitions. I will be happy to update anything she likes. She has full control. Just let me know anytime anything needs updating. And then Carla said, okay, I will talk to her and let you know tomorrow. Thank you again. So that's the screenshot she sent me of Carla and Bruce. And then my response was, duh, I know that. You people think I don't talk to Bruce. I mean, your defense of Carla, that's adorable. And that was the end of that. But, so, no, Charlena, this is not recent. This is old. So I'm addressing you, Carla, and you, Barb, who always watch me. Stop going to everybody else to ask about what I do. You both have my number. You want to know how many shirts sold? Well, first of all, Carla, you're spying in here, so you know. Hello, Stephanie. Did I say hello, Stephanie, already? You have my number. Text me, call me. I have nothing to hide. So you want to know what happened with the shirts? Just send a message out to me. Now I want to get into something that's pretty fucking horrible. Sorry, earmuffs. Let me preface this with doing the whole allegedly, so I can't be sued, right? Allegedly. Chuck has allegedly raped like so many females in his family. So we know that Chuck raped his own cousin, Kim Ducat, as she has told you from her own mouth, when she was 11 years old. It is alleged that Chuck raped his sister Barb when she was a child. That Stephen has even talked about before, that we have heard from Stephen's lips. It has also been alleged that Chuck raped his daughters, Carla and Shannon. Now somebody has come forward who witnessed it. I'm not going to share who that is unless they so choose. So, why all this defense of the Avery family? When Chuck is raping family members when they are children. Chuck, who doesn't go visit Stephen. Chuck, who was having an affair with Jody while Stephen was locked up. Chuck, 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 Chuck. Up, Chuck. Blah. We may be doing a live at some point to give you specifics on these alleged rapes. Don't shoot the messenger. I wasn't there, but somebody who was is now coming forward. So these are the things that when I'm going to tell you the things that this Avery family does, the family tries to turn supporters against me on, she talks bad about the family. Fucking A right I do. I am going to talk bad about a man who rapes his family members and rapes children. Earl Avery put a secret camera in the bathroom so he could watch children changing in and out of bathing suits. Both Chuck and Earl assaulted their wives, choked them, raped them. Denise, that is something that people do believe, is that Chuck is actually the one who killed Teresa Halbach. I am still on the Bobby train, but if it happens to be Chuck, no surprise. Right, Carolyn. Earl, well, and there's a typo there, that, or maybe it wasn't a typo, that says early. Oh my God, if you've never seen the movie Waitress, one of my all-time favorites. And so when I see Early, I'm thinking of her talking to her scumbag, abusive husband, Early. He hid in a pile of laundry. That had to have been a lot of laundry to try and hide that fat body. Sorry, he calls me fat, so I have to return the favor. But, so I have talked about before Chuck raping family members. And yet Barb and Carla are just concerned currently wanting to know how many shirts sold. Why is it about money? David's asking, I'm assuming asking me, how do I know for sure? Do I know for sure? Technically, I don't know for sure. That's why I say alleged. Somebody who was there is telling the story. And it's been passed on to me. Because I'm the only one that's going to speak that truth. Allegedly. Because everybody else has to just fall to the feet of the Avery family. I support Stephen and Brendan's innocence. They did not commit this crime. Stephen doesn't like me. Brendan doesn't like me. That's all fine. I'm not here to make friends. I've got plenty. I'm just fine, thank you very much. I'm not going to cover for a pedophile raping family members because he's related to Stephen. I don't cover for my family. I was molested by a cousin when I was a child. I'm not going to cover that. Now, I have his mother claiming I wanted it. That was her defense, is that I wanted it. I was 9 or 10. Ooh, yeah, I wanted it. You are my friends, China. You're my very, very best friend. But I'm not gonna to cover it up because it's a family member. Mark Anthony, We don't know if she's dead. But I I say this all the time. I say this all the time. The only thing I'm sure about is it's not Stephen and Brendan. If Teresa Hallback's still alive, I'd go, oh, that's not the theory that I believed. But okay then. If you say it's Chuck who did it, okay then. Ryan Hilgas, the police, all that. Get it? Okay. The, she's alive and was paid off by Manitowoc. Okay. I don't know what happened to her. We just know she allegedly has not been seen since October 31st, 2005. And now we know allegedly that Chuck Avery has raped multiple women. We know Bobby Dassey had some sick stuff on his computer that was in his room. We know Manitowoc tore apart Stephen's trailer looking for porn and found nothing. They wanted to make him this sex depraved lunatic. And all they could find is pictures of his girlfriend and videos he made with his girlfriend in pink fuzzy handcuffs and leg shackles or whatever you want to call it. They couldn't find porn. There's nothing in Stephen's background. No accusations of rape. Him allegedly having sex with Marie. She was 17, which is a legal age of consent there in Wisconsin. She was not coerced. She allegedly, willingly had sex with Stephen. They're not blood related. Do I like it that he allegedly had sex with Marie? No. He was an adult. And 17, whether or not is legal age of consent, that's a child. I don't like it. But that doesn't mean that he's raping women. But you've got Chuck and Earl, who were both at the salvage yard that day. You have Earl allowing Pam of God to go on the property without a warrant. So I am never just going to fall lockstep behind somebody because their name at some point was Avery. Bottom line. And again, Carla. Hi, Carla. Hi. Oh, should I do this for you, Carla? Carla, for some reason, has been posting a screenshot of me on a live when my finger was like this. Like that's some big slam that I need to be ashamed or embarrassed of. I don't know. It's weird. Got my number, Carla. Call me. Back on the rally. This rally, and I went on this rant the other day when I was on here. The rally was because that Kim and Courtney have attended rallies in the past and have not been included because you need to be a part of the Carla clique. Otherwise, you're treated like dog shit. So I said, all right, I'll organize a rally. Oh, and something that they're using is that I said at some point it would be a real rally. And then they're making fun that there were only 20 something people there. I meant real rally in that it's not the Carla show. It's not the Barb show. It's a real rally in that it is showing support for the guys, not a fanfare for Carla and Barb. Yeah, we had just 20 something people there. It's no different than their rallies. They get about 50 people there at the last one, right? And there was about 50 people there, and half of them are Averys. So the only family supported rally has the same amount of people we have during COVID. And we were actually there because we believe that Stephen and Brendan are innocent. We're not there to listen to Barb say, "Why are they doing this to me?" Well, she's off hunting and going to Nickelback. Carla's driving around in her convertible, asking Stephen to pay for new tires. Oh, I haven't been looking at your posts, but Dano, I see you saying your feelings changed when you heard about Alan beating Ma. Yeah. Um that's that's why Dolores is the one that I always say that Dolores is the only one that's been there for Steven consistently. Even when Steven got all bitchy towards Dolores and threatened to sue her, which breaks my heart that he said that to his mother. Um, but Alan's got his own shady past with rape accusations with children. Um, so sweet Dolores, what that woman has had to live through. And the Sandy Greenman, for you to tell Steven that I talk shit about Dolores, what a liar you are. I've never said anything negative about Dolores ever. She's one of the Averys you will. Is she the only Avery you'll never hear me say anything negative about? Probably. Um, Krista, Chuck is Steven's brother. Steven and Barb's brother. Yeah, I know, Krista. I said we need to do that where I get a whiteboard behind me and I'll do the whole family tree that I can anyway, that I know. So, Stephen Avery Project will always operate as it has since Making a Murderer came out. Stephen Avery Project is only about the case. I don't talk about any of this stuff in there. You know, that's for you all in MAM gossip. Because the people who follow Stephen Avery Project, they don't even know who any of these people are. And don't care. Gossip is where we get more into the disgusting stuff in this case. And MAM Gossip will continue on as we always have. I started this page as a place for me to vent about the other bullshit that goes on in this case. So, and then I've also branched it out to where we can talk about other cases because the world doesn't revolve around Stephen and Brendan. There are plenty of other cases of people who are wrongly accused or, you know, people that just want to talk about true crime or whatever. So you're welcome to talk about any other cases in MAM gossip. Um, when the person who was allegedly there when Chuck was raping young family members, uh, whether or not, and I have offered Stephen Avery Project as a place for them to talk if they so choose, if they want to go that public. Uh, um, um, if they don't want it to be that public and want to do it in gossip, they're welcome to do it in gossip. Or if they want to do it elsewhere and just want me to share it, I have told them whatever I can do to help them. But again, don't shoot the messenger. I wasn't there. This is just what somebody is alleging. But where there's smoke, there's fire. How many times are we going to hear about Chuck Avery raping people? And then you're going to have Carla and Barb's groups who claim to be the official groups, and you're not allowed to talk about this there. You're not allowed to talk about Bobby. I'm sorry, evidence points there. So why wouldn't it be a discussion? Oh, because it's not a Brendan support page or a Steven support page. It's a family support page. That's what you have to remember. Those pages are not about supporting Steven or Brendan. It's about supporting the family. Be in that group or not, I'm not somebody who's going to fault you for being in any of the other groups. Have at it. Be in guilter groups. I don't care. You know, they want to ban any of you all if, you know, they see you making a comment in gossip. The only time I'm going to ban you is if you're talking shit about us in other groups. Go wherever you want. I really don't care. I'm not the boss of you. Diana asked, do you think Brendan was ever sexually abused by any family members? I do not. It seems that the men are preying on women. And, you know, rape is never about, you know, sexual attraction. You know, you're asserting your power over another. So, I think if Brendan was molested in any way, he would be far more broken and confused. So, and it just seems that family just preys on girls. But, back as I've said on other things, if it came out he was, that there was proof that he was, I wouldn't be surprised. But my personal opinion is no, that none of the Dassey boys have been sexually assaulted by a family member. I believe they were abused physically by Scott Taddock. I have been told that Scott Taddock got into physical fights with both Blaine and Brian. Not Bobby, by the way. Wonder why that is. And there's no opportunity to get physical with Brendan because Brendan was locked up by the time that Scott fully moved in for the kill. The watermelon chunk matches my lipstick. Oh my God, Carolyn. It's all gone. I do have watermelon in my fridge right now. Yeah, Erica, I believe that. Well, Brendan, like when we listen to the calls and Barb asks Brendan if Steven ever did anything to him, Brendan's not understanding. So he's saying, yeah, when he and Steven were wrestling. Well, wrestling, now being that these people are big fans of, was it WWF at that time or was it WWE then? Um, but big fans of wrestling, right? So they wrestle. Steven wasn't making the moves on Brendan. Now, and then you hear Brendan say, well, he touched me someplace I was uncomfortable. Well, that could have been, totally just as you're wrestling, something's going to touch underneath where your bathing suit covers, right? Something will touch there at some point. Or I started dating my husband when I was 14 years old and a freshman in high school. So I, was around him and his best friends and all that, and they would wrestle around all the time. And one of these things that this group of guys prided each other on was hitting each other in the dick. And who could withstand it? And, so there would be dick shots all the time. Not that I know that that's what happened in Brendan's case, but that also is something that's why I don't think that Brendan was ever molested, because he's taking innocent wrestling as, well, yeah, Steven touched me a place I wasn't comfortable when we were wrestling. Well, that's wrestling. And I'm not, I'm not making excuses for Steven, because if I saw something Steven did is wrong, I would tell you. Just like when I talked about Sonia, ex-husband. I'm still going through this freaking divorce. We had another hearing today, and don't even get me down there right now. So pissed off. So he's still current husband, but fuck you too if you're watching this. So I don't think Brendan completely understands that. And I talked about not agreeing with Steven having sex with Marie. It's legal, but I don't like it. The whole burning the cat thing. Steven didn't do it, but he was there. I'm sure he was laughing. I don't like it. Doesn't mean he did anything to Teresa Halbach, but I don't like it. And I'm not going to make excuses for it. It's a shitty thing to do. Steven chasing his cousin and pointing a gun at her. I understand he was upset with her. Not cool. Doesn't mean he attempted to rape Penny Bernstein. Karen, nothing up with Zellner. It's waiting for the court to respond, and they have no limit. So, and I'm sure Kathleen is still going over, this case is constantly looking for more. So I'm sure her and her people are still going over everything with a fine-tooth comb. Maybe they should be looking into Chuck. Maybe. Or from my conversation with the Hallback cousin, who says also that she believes it was Chuck because she was told it was Chuck. So, maybe Kathleen's already looked down those roads. Maybe she's doing it now. Don't know. But yeah, we're waiting on the court, which sucks. Back to the rally. So I know Christopher posted, because Christopher was looking for ways for you all from, playing the at-home version of the rally to have some fun. And so he made some contest with you making signs. So he's been working on that. He's just going to let me know what I need to do with all of that. So as soon as Christopher has that all done, we'll fill you in on all of that. Then we were talking about doing like a virtual rally around the holidays. So if people have ideas for things we could do around the holidays to do, still always looking for ways that we can be keeping their cases on the radar, because we're not going away ever until you free them. So, so you can message me. You're probably better off messaging Christopher since he's the one working on that. So you could message Christopher and talk to him about that. You could email or message Stephen Avery Project, or you can email us too. Our email is officialstephenaveryproject@gmail.com for any ideas you have for the holiday. Erica, so they never watched a movie that night. No, at the rally when they had put up the blow up screen in the parking lot outside my window, they ended up never watching a movie that night. So I'm assuming they couldn't figure out the technical stuff. I'm having a drive-in movie thing at my house on the 14th, on Friday the 14th, because I've got a projector and a big outdoor screen. Looking for things to do that you're still able to socially distance in this time of COVID. Christmas cards around the world rally. Something else, we've talked about this before. I would like it if you guys would write a letter to Stephen and ask him to reach out to Kim Ducat. Because she would really like to talk to her cousin, and the family is blocking her from having any communication with Stephen. So maybe if you all were to send him a letter and say that Kim is somebody who has always been in Stephen's corner, and she's not going to deal with any of this bullshit, any of the drama. So he absolutely should be talking with Kim. Laura, being nosy, you don't see Marnie anymore. Can you tell us why? Well, first of all, we're in COVID, so there's no visitations allowed at the prison. But I've gone over this before, Laura, but the girl who founded the WMP Justice Review team that I was brought on to be a part of, she then posted something racist on my personal Facebook page. And a couple of my black friends commented to her on that. And then I was telling her also that her post was wrong, and then she kept doubling down on it and saying more. And so the next thing I know, she removed me from the Justice Review team. So, and she and Marnie are really, really tight because Tammy had been in prison for 30 years for murdering somebody. And so they met while in prison. So they're really close. And I know that Tammy lied to Marnie's father and said that I quit. Marnie's dad came to my house and I talked to him about that, on how I didn't quit, and I have proof of that. And I assume she will have told Marnie the same thing. And I have not reached out to Marnie on it because I'm not going to complicate things. If Marnie wants to reach out to me, and if visits ever resume at the prison again, I absolutely would continue to visit with Marnie. I don't have to have a relationship with Tammy. I did get reached out to by a reporter who is doing a story on Tammy because of Tammy trying to get Marnie out of prison, and she also was in prison for being a murderer, except the difference is Marnie is innocent and Tammy is guilty. But I made sure that this reporter knew that this doesn't change my opinion on Marnie's guilt or innocence, because I follow the facts, and the facts show that Marnie Yang is innocent. If anything came my way that proved she was guilty, same thing with Steven, same thing with Melissa. I follow the facts. These are not my family members. Um, I'm very close to Melissa. Hello, Court. I'm very close to Melissa. Um, and there's no way that Melissa is guilty in a million years. Um, but I follow the facts. Melissa, I talked to Melissa just emailed me. Was it this morning? Or was it? I can't remember. But her prison is back on lockdown again. She said, okay, so Melissa in Marnie's prison is set up like a campus. So it's not one big, huge building and they're behind bars, on these multi levels. It's all these different buildings. And then they live in wings of these buildings, So each building, there's a left, center, and right wing. And then there's a common area for everybody that's in that one house. And so Melissa says it turns out there was somebody who has COVID in her building that they did nothing about. And so all these women have been exposed to this girl with COVID, and they are not giving any of the inmates cleaning supplies. They have a mask, and Melissa is wearing the mask all the time, but they're back on severe lockdown, which means, they're not able to do their job. So they're not getting much food, they're not getting access to their commissary as much as they should have it. And it really fucking pisses me off that they don't have video visits. If you're going to lock them away that they can't, so when's the last time that I visited them? Was it like April? March? I can't remember now. Oh my God, I just got an email from Melissa. Hold on, let me go to it and see. How's that for timing? Let's see what Melissa says. Go to inbox. Hey, yeah, so just found out that another girl from my unit on another wing tested positive for COVID as well. So we've been trying to get cleaning supplies and finally got some. Yay! They did take the ones who tested positive off the unit, but yesterday they allowed the one girl on my wing who tested positive come back to pack her stuff and take it to the quarantine unit. And she knew what was going on but didn't tell us. Everyone on wing has been exposed. So if you can let whoever let them know what is going on. Because that's something I said to Melissa when I responded to her today, which is something that would be on the positive, that usually when I email with Melissa, it would take days, weeks maybe for emails to get approved. And so now I emailed her this morning, and now she, so 11:30 a.m. is when she sent this one out, and now I'm getting it at 3:46 p.m. So the emails seem to be going pretty fast. But I had asked her this morning, do you want me? I will have supporters now. Do you want us to start harassing the prison or, about you guys not being taken care of? Okay. So if you can let whoever let them know what is going on, because yesterday other families have called down in Springfield. Springfield is our capital in Illinois, and the correction system, the offices and everything are in Springfield. And Springfield, so they are gonna find out what their families know. Okay, I can't say that. Okay, I can't say that. We are all just pissed off because now they have had an officer who touched this girl's stuff to go get tested. I mean, what about us, the whole wing, when we all been exposed? It's just crazy. And not only that, but as for trays, we should be eating off of styrofoam because the plastic trays can be contaminated. Yesterday there was a boil order since 9 a.m. and we didn't get no water till about 4:15 p.m. but allowed us to get ice at like 11:30 a.m. But who knows if it was contaminated? Like, it's a mess. Can you do whatever is necessary? And not only that, but there's diabetics too, like my celly, and they're more worried about that than us when they bring it in. Also, staff has not been wearing their masks. I also wrote Kathleen about what was going on, so she'll get my letter by Friday. So whatever you can do would be great. Thanks. So I'll think about that and maybe get something posted tomorrow on what we can do, because this fucking pisses me off that they're already in prison. And that reminds me too, when because she had told me in the email I got from her this morning, of they're not even giving them water. Oh, and I deleted somebody's comment on the post I made. I'm not going to get into politics here, but we're also not going to play the COVID is a hoax game here. So I'm not going to argue with you about COVID. It's real, and I'm just going to delete your post if you're going to claim it's not. Okay? So let me just put that out there right now. But, Melissa. Melissa is the sweetest person ever. I need to do another. We've done lives in the past talking about Melissa's case, but we need to do another, because we get new people in here, and you really need to know about Melissa Kaluzinski's case. She is another client of Kathleen Zellner's, and you can go on Kathleen Zellner's website, and she's got a page about Melissa where she's got the video is up there for one of the hearings that we had, was it last year, for Melissa? So you can see Kathleen in action in court on Melissa's case there. Then Dateline has covered Melissa's case twice. One is called Blaming Melissa, and one is The Fight for Melissa. You can look for it on YouTube, but Kathleen also has a links to both of those on her page for Melissa. So look into Melissa Kaluzinski's case. Melissa has been what's his name? See, and I just want to keep saying Ryan Hilgas. Ryan Ferguson, another of Kathleen's cases. He supports Melissa. He tweeted once to a picture of him holding a picture saying "Free Melissa." So did Amanda Knox. So Melissa gets some major support. She just hasn't had the big Netflix documentary. Her case was recently covered on the Dr. Oz show, and they're going to be doing an update episode in September on Melissa's case on Dr. Oz. That somebody from the Dr. Oz show, not Dr. Oz himself, did go to Melissa's prison and talked with her and filmed it. So we'll see that whenever the new TV season starts. Everything's in repeats right now. But Melissa Kaluzinski is somebody who is absolutely innocent. I have said her case is a cross between both Stephen and Brendan. Melissa has low IQ. Her verbal skills, as I now just screw up speaking there. She's a people pleaser, but she's a people pleaser, but she also, if you push her too much, she ain't gonna take it. So don't think of Melissa. Let me show you a picture of Melissa if you've never seen her. There's Melissa. Stop being all fuzzy, picture. There you go. Melissa's beautiful. Um, I know I have another picture. She's beautiful and sweet. Um, but there's only so much she's going to tolerate. But she worked in a daycare. So did her sister, Crystal. And Melissa was in the toddler room. And so there was a 17-month, 19-month number. Don't fault me. He was in a bouncy chair on the floor in the room. And Melissa turned and looked at him. And he was turning blue and foaming from the mouth. Ambulance was called. Melissa's sister, Crystal, I believe it was Crystal who was trying to do CPR on the child. The child was pronounced dead. And then the fix is in to get it so Melissa is guilty of this boy's death. And she was taken in for questioning for hours upon hours. That you can see some of it in those Dateline episodes. And she thought if she would just tell them what they wanted her to say, she would go home to her parents and her puppy. She had a new puppy who actually her dog died a couple months ago. So he was a puppy when she went in, and now Oreo has died. She then said she dropped him. And when they're making her reenact it with a doll, too, she's like putting the doll down in such a way she doesn't know what she's doing. And then coroner lies in testifying, claiming that I don't know if it's coroner, medical examiner, I don't remember. I screw up people's titles, too. But they said they saw blood and they felt a crack in the boy's skull. When you see the x-ray that her defense team was given, not Kathleen Zellner at that time, is just a blacked out x-ray. And so Melissa was found guilty. Life sentence. And now she's got Kathleen Zellner. And her father will not rest until his daughter comes home. I mean, Paul is just a maniac in trying to get his daughter out of there. And somebody pointed Paul in the direction to where the real x-rays are. And so when you look at the x-rays of this boy, his head looks like a giant light bulb. A month prior, about a month, again, numbers, I don't know the exact amount of days exactly, the boy had come to the daycare with a big lump on his head and was like lethargic. And the daycare's like, ho, 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 nope, you're not bringing him in here. He's got to see a doctor. You know, the daycare doesn't want to be accused of whatever happened to this boy's head. And so the boy, was taken to a doctor. There were, so there was a paper trail of all that. So sadly, what happened to this poor boy is his brain was swelling due to however that injury occurred. I have heard several different theories on how that kid got the bump on his head. But also, when that happened at that daycare, Melissa didn't work there. It was a chain. Melissa worked at a different location. So Melissa had nothing to do with when that kid came there with a bump on his head. She wasn't there. So Melissa also had asked when she was in there being questioning, was she 22 or 23 at this time? So legally an adult. But a lawyer was asked for and denied. where Melissa's case is from is Lake County, Illinois, which is, not an exaggeration, the wrongful conviction capital. That is also where Marnie Yang's case is from. Yes, Jocelyn. Paul is similar to Ryan Ferguson's dad, Bill Ferguson. Oh my God, I love Bill Ferguson. What an inspiration that man is. And then you know who else? I don't even want to look you all in the eyes when I say this. The Bagbies. Have you ever seen Dear Zachary? Dear Zachary is so good, yet the saddest thing I've ever seen. And the Bagby parents. See, this is how the Avery family should be. Like the Kaluzinskis, like the Fergusons, like the Bagbies. But they're not. So sad, isn't it? So, all right, we're at an hour. So I'm going to bring this to a close so we can get on to the Brendan jail calls. Because I don't know for sure when is the next time I'm going to be able to do them. I know, Dano. Oh, that. I sobbed. I mean, that's a soul-wrenching sob. And I have the book. I bought the book, and oh my God. Our judicial system. Horrible. Somebody messaged me, Facebook messaged me, one of my activist friends asking me to call her. And, I'm doing this, so I'm not answering that right now. So she must have reached out to one of my good friends. And so now this person is, will you help Susanna conduct proper protest behavior training via Zoom on August 21 for Will County? So I guess you can't get through to me yourself. You'll reach out to my friend Fanny. Yes, Dano, never cried so hard as the Bagbies. Oh, but I want to be I want to be their children. These are great human beings. I recommend people to watch Dear Zachary. But just know you're going to cry. And if you say you watched it and you didn't cry, you're a fucking liar. It's called Dear Zachary. It was on Netflix at one time. I don't know if it still is. Was it on Amazon Prime? Might be on Amazon Prime now. I don't know. Oh. There's not a good ending. So it's not one of those, yay, and then, it's a horrible story. You're gonna get mad and you're gonna sob. And again, if you say you don't cry, you're lying. Oh my God, that's so. Maybe one day we'll do a live while we watch Dear Zachary. Oh. I've only seen it once. Or did I see it twice? But then I started to watch it again, and then I was like, nope, I can't do it. It's so soul crushing. Oh my God. What a way to end this live in, oh my God, Dear Zachary. All right, so let me circle back around on everything. Barb and Carla, you want to ask a question about anything about the rally? You've got my number. You can reach out to me. You want to be all concerned about shirt numbers? Reach out to me. I'll tell you, because I ain't hiding dick. I would love it if you would all write to Steven and tell him he should reach out to Kim Ducat, because she, other than Dolores, is the only family member that 100% supports him and is not going to get involved in any drama. But she's going to speak the truth. She's not going to hide that Chuck Avery rapes family members because she's the one that was raped by him. And message Christopher with ideas you have for how we can keep Stephen and Brendan's cases alive in the forefront of the media. And if you've got ideas for a virtual rally, so send those to Christopher. And his name is Christopher Weaver. He's one of our moderators here. And then I will get back to you all on what we're going to do for Melissa and what they're doing to her at the prison. And I don't know if Paul's watching this, but Melissa, that's one of the things she said. I should have read ahead. She's like, she doesn't want her dad freaking out and being all upset. So she doesn't want her dad to know all that. You know, she just wants her dad to know she's okay. So Paul, if you do end up watching this, Melissa's okay and don't freak out. And before you do anything, Paul, if you do watch this, please talk to me first. So I'll think on that. I do not know when we'll do an Ask Jax Anything again, because these things always pop up sporadically. And I'm going to end this and start a new video right away, and we'll go into some Brendan jail calls. So find me again in a couple of minutes.